What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Well, we're supposed to be recorded, and we're supposed to be focusing in on the upcoming playoff matchup, AFC and NFC Championship game. We're supposed to be giving our reaction to a recent Hall of Famer that just got inducted. Mm-hmm. Friend of the show, Donnie Shell. Yes. Big congratulations to him. That's what we're supposed to be focusing on right now. What?
Are we focusing on it?
I'm trying to focus on it because we just had a conversation that was off the air. that went back to our conversation we had last podcast in terms of Ben and Russ. Now, like I said, we're supposed to be focusing in.
Yes.
On this AFC NFC Championship game, mm-hmm. and giving Donnie Shell his due diligence. But we just have to talk about this one little thing real quick. Just one little thing.
You want to talk about it?
Just one quick question. One quick question. No, this is my only question.
Okay.
And this we will have for the IG audience.
This one's going to be on Instagram.
Because I need answers.
Okay.
When it comes to rating quarterbacks.
Yes.
Do you view their passing touchdowns and interceptions over their QBR, or do you view their QBR over their touchdowns and interceptions? Because when we had this conversation off air, you said you value QBR over their passing touchdowns and interceptions.
Okay, so I think there's a combination of that.
You ain't say that.
No, I think it's a combination of all that. But if you're gonna look at just a season and how well that player did, I think QBR is a better metric. Add in the team wins too. You got to add in the team wins. Add in the team wins.
How can you add in the team wins if somebody's fumbling or the defense is giving up points?
I'm saying you add all of this into play.
But no, we're talking about individuals.
Yes.
So how are you going to factor in a team stat to individual?
Because a quarterback's a leader.
So Mason and Ducks wins this year, where that was them leading, or was that the Steelers defense?
No, you weigh that in, and their stats, their touchdowns, interceptions, and QBR were crappy. So the win,
bro. I mean, all I'm saying is, and this is how the conversation started.
How much of them played into the win?
This is the conversation I asked you, right? This is the question I asked you. I said, if we take Russell Wilson's first 8 seasons, and you combine them to either Ben's first 8, but then you was like, no, it's different generations. I said, you take Ben's best 8 years versus Russell Wilson's 8 years. And I said, Russ has more touchdowns, less picks combined. And you said, well, I don't care. Ben is still the better quarterback. And I said, how do you come up to that argument or to that point? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, and I said QBR because the one season that I talked about last podcast was Ben's. It was actually his 2015 season. Okay. I said 2016, but I was pretty clear on the stats. Yeah. It was the year he had 21 picks, or 21 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Yeah. And that QBR, I think, is his first or second best QBR, his first or second best season. Okay. And what I'm talking about in terms of touchdowns and picks, the QBR weighs when the picks are thrown and if the receiver's running the wrong things.
How are they going to dictate if the receiver's running the wrong route? That's what I want to know.
If it's at the end of the half,
if it's at
the end of the game,
I'm looking at it like this. Who has the numbers? When you look at Russ, his best 8 years, he's only been in the league 8 years. You look at his 8 years, passing yards each season, passing touchdowns, not rushing touchdowns, just passing touchdowns, and his interceptions. And I said, you compare them to Ben's, Russ numbers are better. That's all I'm saying, bro.
But I'm saying that back to you where that season that Ben had 21.
We're taking 3 statistical categories: passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions. Those are 3 critical categories for quarterbacks. And you're trying to just say QBR trumps all 3 of those?
Because that was his best season, and I was going even based off eye test just myself.
So those,
where that 2015 season was his best season, and you know what? And what I was telling you about touchdowns, they're fluky on a year-to-year basis.
So QBR,
where other positions will get that,
so like running backs will run them. Is QBR valued more than passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions?
Well, you didn't bring up passing yards either.
I'm asking you; those are the 3 main categories as a quarterback. I'm asking you. Is QBR more important than those 3 statistical categories?
I think you got to weigh it all in together.
I'm asking you, is QBR valued more than those 3? Because I would give you my answer. It's not. I value passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions over a QBR metric.
You want me to give you the simple answer?
I'm just asking you.
In this case, yes.
Because why?
Because this is the argument we're making.
No. Answer why. Why is QBR in this argument? Why? Go ahead, say it.
Listen to it.
No. Just say it. Why? Don't stall. Say it, because I know your answer. Go ahead, say it. So say it, man.
It's dude. No, I'm just using it in this argument.
No. Because I use this same argument for any of these quarterbacks. When I'm comparing who's better, who's worse, I'm looking at those three statistical categories. It's not a case by case. So I'm asking you right now: is QBR your case by case?
I told you. You know this about me because
go ahead and say it, man.
I said it.
Why are you stalling?
No, I'm not stalling.
You're stalling.
I said this way at the beginning. I said I like stats when they back me up. When they don't, I don't like them. So
that's why you're rolling with QBR.
Huh?
That's why you're rolling with QBR.
I do like QBR though, because I told you it weighs in all those factors I was talking about.
So you like QBR over those other three stats then?
I think it does help tell a bigger picture.
So you like season. QBR over those three stats then?
I mean, I don't know. I got to think. I told
Stop
you.
It. Because you're fishing. You're reaching right now.
I'm not reaching anything.
You're reaching.
I like seeing the whole picture.
So my thing is, if you like QBR over the most, if you like QBR the most, why don't you always compare QBR every time we're talking quarterbacks? Why is it touchdowns in this argument? Oh, now it's interceptions in that argument. Now it's yardage in this argument. But when that doesn't fit you, now it's QBR.
That's just how I roll, man.
Yeah.
It's just how I roll, man. Because QBR doesn't tell the full story either.
Yeah. The three big categories: passing yards, passing touchdowns, interceptions. That tells you the story you need to know, man.
I don't think it does. I really
more
don't.
times than not, it will.
Because in this case that I'm bringing up, the year that he had 21 touchdowns.
Okay, you're talking about 1 year. I'm saying body of work. Russ' best 8 years versus Ben's best 8 years. Passing yards, touchdown passes, and interceptions. Russ numbers are better. That's all I'm saying, bro.
My question to you are: if you look at these. Dude, I'm telling you, look at all the seasons, any season.
I said you could pick Ben's best 8 years.
Whatever, but you look at his QBR for all those years. Okay. It's just better than Russ's.
Pick
it just
Ben's
is
best 8 years.
Even though you're talking about this touchdown to interception ratio.
Because QBR is better,
it's just
that makes it. Oh, okay, it's been there.
No, but
so what are you saying then?
No. This is what I'm saying to you is you want to make it black and white where it's touchdowns. I want to make it
black and white. I'm giving you yards. 3 categories.
I know.
That's 3 different categories. You're saying QBR as if that's black and white.
I'm not. I'm saying it's a combination of wins. Those stats that you're talking about in QBR,
yeah.
and then
I'm saying
you're
factoring wins as if the QB controls the win or not. He doesn't. We already talked about that. How are you going to dictate if a person ran a wrong route or not? Were you in the huddle? Did you know the play call? So how can you tell me that that's accurate or not? That's my question with QBR. That's my question for you. Were you in that huddle? Were the person doing the QBR, were they in that huddle? And how did they know he ran the right route? How did you know the quarterback didn't make the wrong read? How you know the quarterback didn't make the wrong throw?
No, that's true.
You don't know that, but we know passing yards. We know passing touchdowns. We know passing interceptions.
But this is something I don't know as gospel that they do that. But they weigh things on when the interception's thrown, what kind of play it was, what was needed at that time. It weighs how you play in terms of winning football.
Okay.
It weighs all that.
So why is it that when we start talking people that go into the Hall of Fame and things like that, they don't bring up QBR? Why do they bring up passing yards, passing touchdowns, and picks? You even brought it up yourself when we had the argument about, what was it, Dan Phelps and Troy Aikman, right? That was your argument then.
They didn't do QBR.
Nah, so my question is,
they didn't do QBR.
But they did passing yards, right? They did passing touchdowns, right? They did picks. So clearly that's a tried and true method, correct?
No, but I'm weighing.
You said no.
I'm weighing in wins too.
How are you gonna weigh in wins? That's like
Ben's
saying,
a baller.
That's like saying Troy Aikman has wins. Was Troy Aikman the only reason why that Dallas Cowboys team was winning all that? No, he had 3 Hall of Famers with him.
Right.
So how are you gonna?
It takes a team.
Stop it.
It does. It takes a team. But
stop it.
Ben, Aikman, all these dudes, they had a part of their team's wins.
They did have a part of it. Yes. But you can't. So why don't you factor in wins and losses for receivers then?
I don't think it hurts. I think receivers that do win Super Bowls and have nice playoff runs, I think that should be taken into account. Why wouldn't it? Like with Anquan Bolden.
I'm saying we don't though.
What?
We don't. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I do in terms
stop
of
it there.
I do.
So stop it there, man.
Wait.
So it's Anquan Bolton career wins losses there. Larry Fitzgerald's career wins losses. That's the case.
I'm saying he stepped up in big moments in playoffs. I think that should be weighed into.
All I'm saying is you can weigh
if he's trying to make the Hall of Fame, Anquan Bolton, like that should be weighed into.
It's not
if he
though.
makes it or not.
You know why it's not?
Well,
because
that's
wins
a
and
problem.
losses are a team stat, not an individual stat. When we're talking individual, because I can easily say this, right? With Russell Wilson, his first Super Bowl, yeah, he won it, right? He won the Super Bowl, but was that him or was that defense? Let's be real about it.
Combination. If you want to
stop it,
obviously,
no,
if you want to do
not stop
if you want to do percentage, dude, he did what he had to do. That was it. Simple as that.
But all I'm saying is this: are you gonna put more value on him being the reason why they won the Super Bowl? Because he wasn't. It was Legion of Boom. We already know that, which is why Legion of Boom became so famous.
Yeah, but there's
no.
There's dudes that mess stuff up.
But this is what I'm saying. When
mess those good defenses up.
But this is what I'm saying. When you keep going with this QBR, let's add in wins and losses. He's getting wins that he wasn't responsible for solely. That's all I'm saying.
But that's everybody then.
So
that's Tom Brady.
That's why nobody throws in the wins and losses like that. They throw in what? They throw in passing yards, they throw in passing touchdowns, and they throw in picks because that's an individual statistic.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to be thrown in whenever you're looking into quarterback conversations.
Why?
Because it's still at the end of the day, you got to be the leader of the team and win. Like
Stop it, bro.
That's part of it. That is part of it. Stop what?
Stop it, bro.
Stop what?
Stop it.
Come on, what?
Because you know the rule. You know the truth.
What truth?
You know the truth.
What truth? Tell me.
Whose numbers are better?
Whose numbers are better? I just told you.
No, you said QBR. I said numbers. Passing yards, picks, touchdowns.
Like I said, I don't think it tells the whole story.
I think it tells a large majority of the story.
Because then, I mean...
So if you had to put a percentage on QBR versus those three statistics, where do you weigh QBR at? Percentage-wise out of 100?
I don't know.
No, because you said it tells a story. So tell me what part of the story.
In this case, I like it a lot.
Whatever we're going with is going to be the message for here on out.
But here's the thing. No. But here's the thing.
Stop it there. See?
I'm not,
if you can't use it for everything, then what are you doing then?
No, because I'm not discrediting Ben's. Ben's numbers are good. They're very comparable.
Okay.
Yes.
All I said was whose numbers were better.
They're not better. He's not the better quarterback.
All I said was who has the better numbers.
Those aren't better numbers than me. When I'm telling you, those QBRs, those seasons, Ben is better than Russ. If I'm telling you that.
If I'm telling you for a fact, if you add up Ben's best 8 years, you could pick whatever 8 years you want to pick, whatever QBR years you want to pick. Cool, go for it. When I'm telling you
QBR years, he's better.
I'm telling you this, pick whatever QBR years you want. But I guarantee you, collectively, those 8 QBR years that Ben is better, Russ has more passing yards, Russ has more passing touchdowns, and Russ has less picks. So you call it what you want to call it.
There's no way passing yards. There's no way.
I can tell you for a fact because I did it.
There's no way passing yards.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to run the numbers after.
Run them afterwards.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying,
there's
bro.
no way passing yards.
Run the numbers.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Okay.
Run them.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm still saying, my argument is Ben's seasons are still better
because you were solely just off of QBR. Now QBR is the end all be all.
No, because
so how are you saying their numbers were better? Because they weren't.
Those numbers are good. They're still really good.
I didn't say Ben's numbers weren't really good. All I said was Russ numbers were better.
Yeah, but what does that mean then? That's my question to you. What does that mean?
I'm telling you it means more passing yards, more touchdown passes, less interceptions. That's 3 things right there that I'm telling you.
Okay, but
so what's the confusion?
Because that's what I'm asking you. What does it mean? Because I'm still saying Ben's better, and Ben's seasons are better than Russ.
All I'm saying is Russ has the better numbers. You could say he has a better season with less numbers. That's a matter of opinion. You could say that a 16-pick season is a good season.
That was probably one of his best seasons.
And all I'm saying is that's saying a lot. If Russ' worst season had 11 picks.
Yeah, but dude, I told you with those picks, like, what does it matter?
What does interceptions matter? Where was all that with Duck then and Mason? Interceptions don't matter.
If he's balling out like that, that year he was crazy.
All I'm simply saying is the stats show that Russ had the better seasons. You can say how you want to say it. All I'm saying is his numbers are better than Ben's numbers. You could take that how you want to take it.
But that's where I disagree. So you are saying that those seasons are better than Ben's.
You could take how you want to take it.
Because I'm disagreeing with that.
You can take how you want to take it. All I said was you look at the numbers from Russ's 8, you say Ben's best 8. And do the math.
And I'm saying Russ
just do the math. Russ
don't have a QBR like Ben's.
All I'm saying is do the math. We already showed how the QBR is flawed, which is why they don't talk about the QBR like that. So
flawed. We got to look into what the QBR is, though.
So
I know they weigh things, but in terms of route running, I just said that. I'll be real.
Okay, I'm trying to figure it out because I don't really look into QBR because it's not. It doesn't concern me.
They might.
I was a
factor
person
that
that's
in.
not in there gonna tell me all these things. It's the same reason why I really don't look into the pro football, focus on all that stuff, because some of their analytic stuff is just like, how are you gauging that metric if you don't know their responsibility, if you don't know what they're being taught, if you don't know the technique? How are you going to tell me that?
But then, all right, so look at Dak Prescott's year this year.
Okay,
what does that mean to you?
What was it?
Because isn't there an eye test? The raw numbers, he had a solid season, right?
Okay,
but you saw him in the games that they needed to win, and
he was solid for the majority of the year, was he not?
He was solid. Eagles.
You said it was he had solid stats, and he was solid in the majority of the year. That's what it is. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's trash. It was solid.
But then let's just say, man, I really wish I had all this looked up. But let's just say, let's just use an example.
All right.
Let's use, I don't know, Wilson's not a good example. He had a really good year. Who's another quarterback that most would consider better than Dak? But let's just say there's another quarterback that most would consider, you would even probably consider.
We could say Carson Wentz, right?
You would consider him better than Dak, less touchdowns, and less touchdowns, maybe an extra pick or two. Who had the better season?
I need to look at Winston's number like that. I don't know his numbers.
No, I know, but let's just say the numbers are very comparable, but there's a small discrepancy in touchdowns and picks.
Okay,
but Dak didn't show up in the games that they needed to win.
Discrepancy.
Yes,
I don't. You haven't looked at the numbers. That's all I'm saying.
I see those discrepancies as small.
You have to look when you look at the numbers.
I did look at the numbers briefly.
You said you looked at QBR. I looked at.
No, I looked at those too.
Touchdowns and picks. And it's a reason why you went to QBR. That's all I'm saying. Because you saw the same thing I saw, and that's why you went to QBR.
I don't care about the picks.
Because next thing you're gonna say is, well, look at the pass completions and sacks and all that. That'd be your next argument. And I could just see where you're fishing. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not fishing, dude. I'm not fishing. Right. I would take that Ben 2015 year up against a lot of people. I really would.
Okay.
I really would, because I remember what I saw. Because that's another thing. Just what are your eyes telling you?
But this is my question
and
for you.
Ben was
this
dominant.
This is my question for you. You watch Ben every day, right? You watch him every game.
I do, yes.
Were you watching Russ every game? No, you weren't.
I'm not, no.
Okay. So how are you going to just praise this eyeball test for Ben when you do that eyeball test Russ like that?
I do, the games that I watch.
The game that you watch, but you watch a whole season's worth of Ben, right? So you got the emotional attachment to Ben, right? So you're going to emotionally feel that, oh man, I've seen this multiple times. I've only watched Russ maybe 3 times this year. If you watch Russ for 16 games, I think you'd have a different opinion. That's all I'm saying.
It's tough.
Yeah, because you don't watch him like that.
It's tough.
It's cool, man. I ain't tripping.
I know.
I'm on your team.
I know you are. But I just want to lay it out there. Ben's better. Ben's seasons are better.
Under what metric? When you say Ben's season are better, you just say Ben's QBR is better. Don't say his seasons are better, because it's gonna make people confused when they really look at the numbers.
I test wins, touchdowns, pass yards, interception, QBR. Factor it all in, and then you
notice how you left off 2 key stats, right?
What?
You said eyeball test, wins,
yes,
passing yards, and QBR.
I said touchdowns and picks too.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
No, that's why I was like, that's funny. I was like, you left some stuff off, but it's cool.
Throw those in there too. Mix it all up.
Mix it all up.
You tell me, and I'm saying his Ben seasons are better.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say.
Okay.
So now that we got that off our chest,
I still think there might be a part 3.
We go see. Now that we're done with that conversation, baby, let's talk about Mr. Donnie Shell, man. Finally got in, man. Got that call. Pro Football Hall of Famer officially. Man, I'm happy for that, man. How do you feel about it, man?
I am too, definitely. And if you look at just the stats, we talked about this on the previous podcast. He was deserving to be in.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Got the wins. You know, he had
I'm not worried about the
wins factor. Because 4-time Super Bowl champ.
No.
Throw that in.
4-time Super Bowl champ. They're not talking how many wins he had per season. That's all I'm saying. You could be a Super Bowl champion. Let's throw that out there. Champion's cool. We're not talking wins and loss per season.
And those Steelers had wins, though.
No, because remember, he was also a part of, after those wins, he was part of the transitional phase as well.
Those teams weren't awful.
All I'm saying is they weren't Super Bowl champion teams.
I know, but
that's what I'm saying. That's why they don't throw in wins and losses, because that argument right there, you see how it can go either way? That's why they don't throw it in there like that. They'll say the 4 Super Bowl champions because that's what he did. He earned that, without a doubt. But you don't throw in wins and losses because that's a team stat, right? That's a team stat.
But he also had the consistent stats.
No, that's fine. You could say consistent stats because if you look at his picks, I mean, when he retired, he was he had the most picks for a safety. And I think even now he's number 32 all time in terms of interceptions for a safety. And you got to think that's in an era where they were still using fullbacks. Yeah. They weren't throwing the ball like that. So the fact that he was still getting interceptions like that is crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we already talked about his longevity on the podcast too, man.
Yes,
straight Iron Man status, crazy.
No, definitely good for him. And did you look at any of the other Hall of Famers?
Harold Carmichael,
with like who got in and who didn't.
Yeah,
there were some snubs, man.
It was.
I'm not gonna lie, because we didn't go into too much depth into like who else was in. I mean, we were just running through the list.
Yeah,
but like, because I don't want to be disrespectful to some of these older dudes in the 20s and 40s and 50s, because. I don't know, they might come back to haunt me or something like that. But, I mean, there were some names, like, and I was looking, I went back to look, and, like, Cliff Branch, they were talking about.
Well, I know Drew Pearson, he was pretty heated.
He was another one, too.
He was heated, yeah.
And, because you look, like, they had the stats there, the Pro Bowls, the All-Pros, and even the Super Bowl champions, the playoff runs and stuff. And I'm just looking, I'm like.
The Super Bowl champs, don't talk wins and losses. I see you learning. Good job.
What do you mean?
You just go leave out the wins and losses there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, like, and there was a Pitt guy that got in. That's my alma mater, but
Hell to Pitt.
There just, I mean, it was questionable. We'll just put it that way.
All I'm saying is when you get to that level, man, you're splitting hairs. But funny thing, you say they're questionable.
And
right?
I will say, there was the Broncos linebacker. Holy crap. I looked at his stuff. It was like 7-time Pro Bowler. Yeah. So I feel for them right now, too.
Well, and I'll say this.
We're living large here in Pittsburgh.
We are. We're 2 for 2 right now, and we got Troy and Faneca coming up. We'll find out February 1st, but I'll tell you some of the things that I did hear from local media. Well, actually, Ed Bruchette, he's had one of the votes for the Hall of Fame. I think he still does have a vote for the Hall of Fame. And when we were talking about in terms of is Coach Tomlin considered a Hall of Famer because of Bill Cowher getting in? And the argument that Bruchette said was no. And this is why. He said up until this year, Bill Cowher had never been a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. And he was saying that
the Centennial thing had a lot.
Yeah, but he said the Centennial class was different, and the voting for the Centennial class was different in terms of it was a separate panel.
Belichick was on it.
Yeah, and Dick LeBeau. So it was a totally different group of voters compared to like the people that vote for the traditional Hall of Fame. And he was saying that he felt Bill Cowher benefited largely from that because he had never had another opportunity. Whereas for Coach Tomlin, they don't think he's going to have that same benefit because it's not as if they're doing a Centennial class every 5 or 10 years. Even though for me, my argument was, I thought maybe that's something that they should look into doing, even if it's every 25 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes you need fresh blood with these voting committees. Some of these committees, as we've seen, they take their personal vendettas out, as we saw with T.O.
Yeah.
And they try to like send a message sometimes like that. And I think that that's one of the things that they should potentially look into, because I thought this was a breath of fresh air to have a Centennial class. So some of these guys like a Donnie Shell, who we all know his numbers, been deserving of Hall of Fame status. But the regular voters could not see that for some reason. Whereas the Centennial class, they're like, no, man, this dude's a Hall of Famer. He's in there.
Yeah.
I think that's something that they should look into. And we're not just saying that because it's us Steelers. I'm saying just in general, some of the guys we were just naming, like, they are very deserving. But now, after this year, when it goes back to just 5 guys, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
When we start talking about these other names, these other current guys, like, they're not going to stand a chance in that department.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Whenever we say 5 guys, it's 5 players, correct?
Yeah, 5 modern era. And then they do, I forgot, it's like they'll do 1 contributor.
Yeah, okay.
And there are things like that.
That makes sense, because I remember being up there was, 5 players, and then there's like an older right, guy or two, a coach, owner, or something like that.
So it's the same, like the way the Centennial class was. Think that, but instead of it being 2 head coaches,
1 head coach, probably
5 from the it's 2 head coaches, 3 contributors, and then 5 of the like main players, or however it was. It's everything's condensed to like 1, I think it is, of each one, and that's what makes it so tough. Because we saw even with Coach Cowher in the head coaching group in that Centennial class, there were some names, they had numbers, they had the rings, they had everything you wanted. So when you factor in all that, and now you're just taking 1 a year, it's extremely tough for those guys to get in. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's something that they should potentially look to revising.
I think Tomlin will get in, dude. Like if we're saying if it's one coach every year or one like non-player, however it is, like just think of him compared to other coaches right now. Whenever he will be up.
But then the thing is this though: it's no guarantee that every like decade has a Hall of Fame coach. That's what they're saying too. Because he was like, we know Bill Belichick, right? He should be he's a first ballot Hall of Fame type of guy, right? But it was like outside of Bill. Where do you look where you just see such a large discrepancy in terms of coaching talent, wins? Because for coaches, wins and losses is huge. For coaches, Super Bowls, that's how you judge a coach because they can't go out there and throw the ball. They can't go out there and make tackles. So it's strictly wins, losses, rings. So for Bill, it's so far of a gap. Yeah. But we say when you talk about Coach Tomlin, him, Sean Payton, Andy Reid.
I'd say Pete Carroll maybe in the mix.
Yeah, like all those guys, you said they're all very similar in that regard. And then they said, okay, so which one do you value more? Because in this day and age, we know longevity is hard. I mean, these coaches last a couple of years and they're out.
Yeah.
So do you factor in longevity in terms of holding more weight? Because it was like, that's an argument you could definitely make for Coach T in terms of how long he's been.
Yeah.
But then they were also like, well, you look at Marvin Lewis, he lasted for 10 in Cincinnati. And he shouldn't be in that conversation, but I'm just saying. But we're saying like in terms of how you're weighing these guys in terms of who else is a Hall of Famer out of this decade. And that was one of the arguments they were talking about.
Yeah, but I think those, we just named 4 or 5. Those 4 or 5 coaches would be the class, right? Yeah. The argument, that's where it would be between those guys. That's what I would say at least. And I think that's an argument to be had. And their coaching careers aren't over either. True. They still, Tomlin, who knows how much he's got left. He could go 10, 15 years. Carroll might be on the downswing. Yeah. Reed's been in the league a lot. I don't know. He's got to get that Super Bowl though. Still. Right. But yeah.
But for him though, wins and losses, he has a ton of those.
Crazy. Yeah. And I think there could be something to be said for 2 franchises, 2 teams doing it like that. 5 NFC championships with the Eagles.
And remember, they were going like back to back with the Eagles. Yeah. Then he's been this is his second his second AFC championship game. Yeah. Yeah, because we beat them the one year in the divisional round.
Yeah. They never, I don't think they ever went to the championship with Alex Smith.
Correct.
No. Interesting conversation to be had though.
Yeah, but that was with Ed Bruchette, like I said, and he has a Hall of Fame vote. So that was his whole argument with that.
I guess it's something to consider. A good point that he brought up. I just think he'll get in, dude. I just think like those 4 or 5 coaches that we just named. I think you just think off the top of your head, Hall of Fame. Yeah, they should be in. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting because now we got to look back at the Centennial class coaches that didn't get in. The Mike Holmgrens, the Dan Reeves, Dick Vermeil.
Well, but I think they will get in just in general, potentially. Like we were saying, if you're gonna have a coach a year. Or whatever their rating system is. Mm-hmm. Who else is out there right now?
I mean, they had a long list. Remember, they cut that list down to get to that list. So it's not like they don't have options.
Yeah. I think those dudes will get in. Maybe it's just my era. Maybe that's what it is. Am I just biased?
It's always your era. You're always biased. What? We already proved that earlier today, man. Stop it.
Oh, we didn't prove anything, man.
We did. That's why you go like that. No. And that's why you edit the video the way you edited it when you put it on social media. Talking about talent around them. You left out the whole conversation about this player. Whose best player was that? Whose best player was that? And he's like, well, the one common denominator, Ben. Like, nah, don't leave out what we were talking about, but that's what you do. Bias. It's cool.
I like people to think for themselves and use their own imagination. That's what I want.
You like to cut out major
I'm an artist.
Facts.
I'm an artist here.
No, you like to withhold facts from the people. That's like us going to court and I got critical evidence that we just going to leave that to the side and present an argument. Like, nah.
I thought I brought up good points that you had. You did because
you left out my main point because my main point was when we talk about Ben's best receiver that he had versus Russ' best receiver that he had. We talk about Ben's best running back that he had versus Russ' best running back that he had. Ben's best tight end versus Russ' best tight end. I was like, if we just go off of that.
I think people got the gist of that, though.
Nah, but it's different when you say names, though. It's different when you say AB versus Golden Tate or Doug Baldwin.
You think?
You could combine Golden Tate and Doug Baldwin. They still would never come close to AB. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't know. I think maybe I left some stuff off the table that I could have, my names and other
whatever
things.
You say, man.
I think I was being fair to both.
Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
Are we good on Hall of Fame talk?
We are, man.
Okay.
We are. But shoot, man, just staying with that Seahawks conversation, man. Obviously, they got the big game this weekend. So, I mean, excuse me, they don't.
I was gonna say, man, they're rivals. Dude.
Yeah, the rivals got the big game this weekend.
A former Seahawk, Richard Sherman.
A Ron.
Yes.
Yeah. A Ron, Niners, Mr. I'm Great, Richard Sherman. Yeah, man.
Dude, I was gonna say that stuff happens with whenever you said Seahawks. I was thinking that
dude.
As soon as I woke up this morning,
all
like,
the time.
I'm just thinking like, all right, what's going on in the league? What's going on in sports?
Yes,
I don't even know. Like,
all the
happens.
Time.
It happens
all the time. It's crazy.
So, just it's just being human, really.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Hey, man, we transparent. Nobody's perfect.
No,
live with it.
And I think the listeners appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But anyway, with this game, what are your thoughts? Because I've been doing a lot of talking recently.
I like when you talk, though.
No.
You don't like it because you... the more you talk, man, you just opening up that curtain, baby. Yeah.
I have been... Yeah. You've been asking me, like, what is your opinion of the game?
Yeah.
You've always let me go first.
Like it.
I'm letting you go first here. So, go ahead.
It's different, man, when you doing a lot of the talking, man.
What do you mean?
Just saying, like, the more you talk, the more you get exposed to all the different opinions and takes and stuff, man.
I stand by a lot I'm saying.
Oh, you know how I feel.
I'm definitely standing by what I'm saying.
I always appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's how I feel. But I'm going to say what I say. As we've seen.
Yep.
Own it. I'm riding with it. But, man, in this matchup, I'm excited. I am, man. I do think that in terms of the way the Niners have been playing, especially their defense, they have been just masterful, right? And the only teams that have really given them trouble have been mobile quarterbacks, right? And to myself, I'm saying, I've seen Aaron Rodgers this year. He's been inconsistent. He has some really good games, some really bad games. But I just feel like it's something about this game right here. And here's why. When we look back when Aaron Rodgers was drafted, remember he had to wait, right? A lot of teams passed up on him. And they asked him, they asked him.
You're bringing this in.
They asked him the question. They said, "How do you are you?" They said, "Are you mad or are you sorry?" Or not sorry, but it was like, "How do you feel? Are you mad about or whatever?" The 49ers taking Alex Smith and not taking you. And he was like, "No, I'm not mad." He's like, "I'm not mad. Not as mad as they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Once I prove that."
Yep.
And I'm just saying, like, they see it come full circle that now he has a chance to go back to the Super Bowl by going against the team that decided to take Alex Smith. Not even on their roster anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
at their place.
At their place. What better way to do it, man? And for me, I just got that feeling like this is one of his games. I feel like, I know as a competitor, you remember the real snubs. Like, people will talk about, oh, well, that team passed on you, that team passed on you. But it's different when it's a quarterback.
Yeah.
When it's quarterback to quarterback. When you took that quarterback over me, you said that he was better than me.
Yeah.
You remember that.
Yeah.
And no matter what stage of your career you're in, that's always the game you get up for. That's always a game that you try to go out there and go crazy. For me, I knew anytime I was going to play a former team or anytime it was a team that they took a linebacker that was in my realm over me, I said, I'm going to make sure I get mine today. And that's how I promise you, that's how you think.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So for me, I'm looking at Aaron. I'm like, Aaron knows he's been playing inconsistent, but Aaron also knows that he finally has a defense around. This one thing that he has not had in Green Bay. And he knows if he goes out here and balls where he can ball, they're going to the Super Bowl. For me, that's the part that I'm excited about. I think when you look at the running back situation with Aaron, I think it's Aaron Jones, I think his last name is.
Yep.
He's been playing well.
Yes.
I think that helps him out a ton. And we already saw what Devontae Adams can do.
Yep.
Yeah. That boy's nice. He's nice.
He is very nice.
And I just think, man, we also talked about how when the Steelers played the Niners early in the season, right? We still felt like pass rush wise, they were getting after them. But remember, that was the conversation. Who has the better pass rush? Is it the 49ers or is it going to be these Pittsburgh Steelers? We know with Green Bay, they get after the quarterback. Yeah. They get after it. And I think because their pressure is coming off the edges, a lot of that misdirection type stuff, it gets minimized because now you have all that contained in. I think that from a structure standpoint definitely bodes well for them. Now, the flip side with the Niners, though, they're hot. They've been playing extremely well, and especially of lately. So when you look at how they've been able to minimize how teams are trying to attack them, you saw what they did to the Vikings team that was still coming in very emotional, very high from their last win. You know,
too emotional.
Not too emotional. I mean, you can never be too emotional. It's playoffs. Like, what? You come out flat. Now you're saying, well, oh, man, you guys weren't ready. Fire the coach. Come out too emotional. Oh, man, you guys too emotional. You can't win.
No, they were too emotional. That's why they came out flat.
No, they weren't.
They wasted all their emotion.
No, they didn't.
Yep.
They didn't come out flat. What?
They just didn't have it. They were tired out from all their celebrating.
They weren't tired out. It was a better team.
That's true, too.
Because for that argument that you're making there, what was the excuse for the Chiefs and the Texans?
Who the better team was?
No. You said that they partied too hard. They celebrated too hard. They came out flat.
The Texans?
Yeah. Texans came out fast at 24-zip after a very emotional overtime win. And we know that they were hyped. We know they were beating their chest.
They got lucky, though. They were given about 20 points there.
They were given about...
Yes.
Given about 24 points there.
No, it was 24. We talked about it. It was actually 14. It was 14 points.
What did the score say?
Literally given.
What did the score say?
What do you mean?
The score said 24 points.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got 10 of their points.
And I like how you say give it, but for me, I'm a special teams guy. I look like that wasn't a gift. They went out there and blocked it and got and recovered it and scored the touchdown off of it.
One of the linemen was like, "Here you go. Take this football and score."
Okay, so if the call was for him to hold up the punt returner, I mean, to hold up on the punt rush, to hold up their guy and not rush, what is your excuse then?
That was his job.
I'm asking you, since you said he just gave it to him.
That's what happened. I don't know what he was doing. He wasn't doing his job.
No, because for the punt return team, a lot of times, especially early in the games, you're taught to hold up. We're not coming up for a rush right now. We could scheme up some rushes later on. That's all I'm saying, man.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because you don't respect special teams. That's all. And I don't like people that disrespect special teams like that.
Come on, man.
You'll love Deontay Johnson, though, but you won't give love to the actual special teams unit. That's all I'm saying. So don't just, it was a gift. Nah. They got to do their job. The punt return team did their job. They blocked the punt. They recovered the punt. It's a lot that goes into it, man.
Okay. Fair point.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Fair point.
But
so anyway, all right, so you were talking about
the Niners and how they were still able to beat a Vikings team that was coming in, was very high, and understood that they had won just a close game, so they were feeling confident as well. But the Niners are a very good team in terms of how they're coached, in terms of how they operate. They hardly ever beat themselves. And that's the thing I think that's really impressed with them. The game versus us where they had the 5 turnovers, we haven't seen anything like that from them ever since.
No.
And for them, I mean, you got to be glad that you got that game out the way a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I do think in terms of how they're going to attack Green Bay, I think Emmanuel Sanders is going to be huge. And I also think that the running game they have is Matthew. I said his name right.
They got 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Breda.
Jalen Hurd.
Mozart.
Yeah.
Mozart.
Mozart.
Yeah.
Raheem Mozart.
And then Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
So those are the 3 guys. And those are all 3 pretty solid running backs. And they've been killing it with Jimmy G running this West Coast option type of offense.
Well, and then the OC there, I mean, he's been there, done that. You know?
Who's the OC?
Shanahan.
Well, he's the head coach.
Yeah. Head coach. He was the OC. He was the OC in Atlanta, though.
Right.
When they went to the Super Bowl. He's still calling that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, so for him, he's been there, done that.
He has.
Yeah. So that's my thing with him. It's like you could just see like he's confident, he's comfortable in that era. He's comfortable making sure that they're getting these plays the way they need to be played.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely, man. So this is a tough one. This is like last week for me, the Packers, Seahawks, where it feels like a toss-up.
Yeah.
Because it's Aaron Rodgers, and that's something that you can always...
He's the X factor.
That's something you can always hang your hat on and just say, it's Aaron Rodgers. You know, like, I don't care what he's done during the season, what he's done the past 3 seasons. Anytime he can go
That's kind of what you said about Brady, too.
Huh? Yeah. I think he played well. But Packers team is better than New England's team.
He lost that one, huh?
Packers team is better than New England's team.
Yeah, that wasn't good for him.
Rodgers has Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Jimmy Graham, obviously a shell of himself. Still better than anything the Patriots put out there.
They had a Super Bowl MVP in Julian Edelman. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Packers got Devontae Adams.
He's not a Super Bowl MVP.
Head and shoulders above.
He's not a Super Bowl MVP, though.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, dude. I don't know where all this is coming from here. But anyway, so with the Packers, they have all these weapons, but they're facing... Dude, Richard Sherman always balls out, and not balls out in the sense that he picks Aaron Rodgers off. Rodgers avoids him. Yeah. And those teams usually give him trouble on defense. So
you said it like it was a bad thing to avoid Richard Sherman.
Huh?
You said it like that was a bad thing to avoid Richard Sherman.
Yeah, but that takes away, like, a third of the field or half the field.
When you got a nice corner, that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to have to scheme, and I'm sure that's going to be coming into play. But the whole 49ers defense is really good.
Yeah,
obviously. The best defense probably left in this playoffs. Actually, definitely. It'd go them, Packers, probably Titans, and Chiefs. Okay. But that's the thing. I don't know. And on the 49ers side, they can run in the ball with those three backs. Are the Packers going to be able to stop them? I don't know. Their run defense is skeptical at some points. They obviously have the pass rushers that you mentioned. So you're going to have to stop those dudes and put it all on Jimmy G, which, I mean, in this type of game, this type of setting is what you want to be doing. Jimmy G versus Aaron Rodgers. Because both defenses are pretty good. Obviously, 49ers are better, like I said. Right. But if you could get it, if you could basically get it to that where somehow it's a shootout, or you're relying on the arms of both those quarterbacks, you're trusting Aaron Rodgers.
I was about to say, I didn't know where you was going. I thought you was about to say you riding with Jimmy G. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
He was good in the divisional game, but we still have it. Stakes get higher and higher. The stakes get higher and higher, and we haven't seen it yet. So that's definitely something to look at and think about. He's proven to step up in big games. I mentioned that last podcast with some of those regular season games. He stepped up in that they really needed to win.
So who are you rolling with then?
Who I'm rolling with?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going back and forth with this. I do think the 49ers are a little too cocky right now. I do.
I love it.
I do. I liked it last week.
You gauging it.
I liked it last week, but this week, Rodgers, you could tell how he's talking in these interviews. He doesn't feel like he has much time left. He knows how special these moments are.
Well, I mean, if you look at his age, he's not that much younger than Ben.
I think it's a year.
Yeah.
I think it's a year.
It's a year or 2 years tops. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Tops though, yeah.
Yeah. And this is a weird side note, but at the beginning of the football season, he played on Thursday night, and you could see some gray in his beard.
Oh yeah,
and I was saying to my boy,
no gray?
Huh? No, it's cool too. But that's what I was saying. I was talking to my boy. We were at the bar. I was like, dude, this is sad. Actually, this is like a sad moment because, dude, 05 when Rodgers is drafted.
Yeah,
and man, I was a young kid. Like that's the same era. Yeah. Ben Rodgers, I'm this kid, and like now I'm seeing gray. It's just like, damn, dude.
That's how I felt the first time I saw Brown with gray hair.
Who?
First time I saw LeBron get gray hair.
LeBron, I haven't even seen that.
Whoa, yes. It threw me all the way off. I'm like, you're the kid from Akron. You're not supposed to have gray hair. Yeah.
So
man can't get old.
No, he's alive. It's fine. But in just terms of like selfishly, it's just like, damn, dude, I'm getting old too. Then like, what does that say about me? Even though I'm 26, like a lot of people would be saying, no, you're young as hell. But
they thought you were in like high school, bro.
What?
They thought you were in high school.
Who? All these people?
Yeah,
The way they talk to me on Instagram.
Crazy.
Get this kid off the podcast, Moats. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Deke is Deke. And Deke ain't going nowhere.
So I'm going to go with Packers then.
Okay.
I feel like Rodgers, this is like a last run type of thing. Yeah. Oh, even though I think he's going to be around for a few more years. So
I do too, yeah.
I don't think there's any reason for him not to be.
Just sign? I don't think he's going nowhere anytime soon.
No, definitely not. But I think he at least relishes, all right, we're in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. We're one game away.
Appreciates it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going with.
I like it. And I like it, man. And I'm agreeing. I'm going Packers as well.
I think they're going to like the weather, too, out of 49ers in San Fran, as opposed to being up in Green Bay.
Absolutely. Well, you got to think, man. Aaron, he played college ball in Cal. Yep, so he's right back where he, started out in college at. So for me, I think it's all bodes well for him, man. I think that's the big thing, though. We're talking X factors because defensively, we know the Niners have a really good defense. We know that. But the Packers defense isn't that far off. I think what the Packers lack in overall D they have in their pass rush in terms of just two stud outside rushers. I know as a whole, the 49ers have the better pass rush as a whole, but in terms of just two flat out studs, that's what the Packers have. So when I look at all things being considered, if the matchup that we're going to come down to is Jimmy G versus Aaron Rodgers, it's A.A. Ron we're talking about. A.A. Ron.
Nope.
Can't go wrong with A.A. Ron, baby. Can't.
No.
Jimmy G, I still have my questions. I'm not a believer in Jimmy G just yet. I thought it was premature when they paid him what they paid him. For me, I still just think that he's a guy that can be really good, but I don't know if he's on that greatness type level yet. Well, we know Aaron Rodgers is. We know Aaron is in that greatness realm. So for me, I'm riding with greatness until proven otherwise.
Yep. So you like that theory?
What theory?
of I haven't seen it yet, so let's wait and see.
This is not really a theory. It's just one's proven over years, whereas one has been injured a lot and hasn't had a full body of work. It's no theory about it.
You know I always like to go back to that. That's one of the things I always have in my back pocket. Stuff, man.
Yeah. For me, I look at just, how many games has he played? Oh, how many games has this guy played? Oh, this guy has done this for a lot longer. This guy's just getting used to this. He just had his first playoff game last week.
I know. Man,
so it's nothing.
I know. What are we trying to argue about then? We're on the same page here. Why?
I'm trying to figure out.
We're on the same page.
Whatever you say.
We are.
Whatever you say, man.
I don't think you liked when I said like we're kind of on the same page here.
Because you be weird sometimes, man.
You don't like my theories? It's
because they weird sometimes.
They're weird.
They're mythological. They're like ligers. I'm not a liger guy. All right.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
All right. So should I go first for the second matchup as well?
Sure. Well,
I you know what I mean, I wasn't sure how you was feeling. You just, I'm on your team. I'll tell you this.
You know what I'm gonna say, but you go first.
So we got another big time matchup, man. Chiefs Titans, and I think this is the most intriguing in terms of styles because they're so polar opposite in how they get the job done. You got the Titans who are run heavy. They look old school. You might as well bring out the nasty face masks when these teams, when the Titans are on the field. That's the style that they play with. Whereas the Chiefs, they're modern era. They are millennial offense, fast break. We slinging this thing. I will say this though. In terms of Ryan Tannehill, I like to joke about him and things like that. Oh man, he's the it factor. He's doing all these things because that's what you like to say about Duck. But if you looked at his numbers, if you looked at Tannehill's numbers throughout the season when he played, he did actually play really well.
Yes,
and that was one thing we could all agree upon in terms of how effective he was, efficient. In the playoffs, he's getting a bad rep because they're just not using him. They're not allowing him to potentially lose a game. They're riding their hot hand, which is what you're supposed to do. This is what we did with Le'Veon Bell in, I think it was 2016, where we just rode L. Bell all the way until the wheels fell off, literally. Mm-hmm. I don't blame them for doing that with Derrick Henry. If a team can't stop the run, you run the ball. In the words of Coach Tomlin, you got red paint, you paint the ball in red. It's that simple. So for me, when I see the Titans, they have a true identity. They know they're going to run this ball. They're going to play defense. They're not going to turn the ball over. The difference is this, though. When you're looking at how both offenses operate, the Titans have to stay on schedule the whole time. Meaning that if you're running the ball first down and you only get a yard, it's 2nd and 9. You run the ball again, only get 2 yards, you're not looking good. Whereas the Chiefs, they can have an incompletion on first. They can have incompletion on second.
Third and 20.
Good. And they're still going to get it. So I think that's where the Chiefs have that large, beneficial side right there, just because they can handle whatever situation it is. Whereas the Titans, it's like a glorified wing T offense. Like, think like the military academies. They just want to run. But if you get them off schedule, that kills their offense. Now, I think this is going to be the game where we see how good Ryan Tannehill has become, because he's going to be forced to throw that ball some. He's going to be forced to make some throws. And we haven't had to see it in the playoffs. He made those throws during the regular season, but as you said earlier, the stakes are higher now. This is going to be the furthest that he's been in the playoffs. Yep. So how does he handle being in an AFC Championship game? How does he handle being in an AFC Championship game on the road? Now they're going to have expectations around him because, let's be real, the first 2 games, no one cared. No one thought they were going to beat the Patriots. They did. Wow. Then nobody definitely thought they were going to beat the Ravens, right? When they did. Wow.
I did.
You, whatever you say.
I picked it.
Whatever you say. We all got the tapes. But now in this game, it's not, they don't have any expectations for them. It's not, if they come out here and run the ball, people are going to be shocked. No, now they're kind of expecting to see, how are the Chiefs going to stop Derrick Henry? How are the Chiefs going to adapt to what you guys do? They have an expectation around them now that, we've seen you do this versus 2 really good defenses. This is what we're expecting from you guys. How does he handle that? Because it's different when you play with the underdog mentality. No one believes in you versus now people believe in you. Now people have expectations. How do you handle that?
There's people picking them.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So how do you handle that? Whereas for the Chiefs, they're used to playing as the favorite. They're used to playing as the big dog. They know they're getting everybody's best shot. But the thing that they have, and Tyreek Hill said it, they got the receivers that nobody can guard in this league. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, even Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, if you got Sammy Watkins as your third option,
it's a top 15 pick.
Yep.
He can ball.
Yep.
That's your third option. And you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Patrick Mahomes throwing it. So in that regard, that's the real question. How can Tennessee match it with that? Now, if you're looking at Tennessee, they do got a Dory Jackson. He's been playing well. They got Kevin Byard. He's been a stud for a long time. I want to see the way that Titans pass rush was getting pressure on Lamar. Can they do that against Patrick Mahomes? I think that's going to be the interesting feat right there. If they can do that, it could make it a little dicey. But ultimately, I think that the Titans are going to have to keep the clock running and keep the Chiefs on the sideline.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. But we're going to see. You'll know early on, man, if those guys showing up and they want to hit Derrick Henry or not. I felt like it was very evident the first two games. They came out there. They got the run in that rock. No, won't want that. It won't hit that. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Titans had played the Chiefs earlier in the season as well, week 10, and they did beat them.
They beat them.
But granted, that's when Mahomes was dealing with everything coming back.
That was his first game back.
Yeah, so I was like, you factor in that, we're expecting to see a lot different offense.
And I think you could correct me if I'm wrong on this. The Chiefs were up, and the Titans came back and won. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that had to do with Tannehill, but Henry had a good game. He had like 150 yards. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. So that's going to be the question. The offense is a little different, even though the yardage with Henry is similar with these playoff games that he's been having. I'm sure. See, I don't have the stats on me, but let's just, you know how I do. I just throw stuff out there. I'm sure Tannehill had more yards than he has been having in these playoff games in that Chiefs game.
That's a very safe bet to say.
It is a safe bet.
Yes. Without a doubt, you're good on that one, man.
But anyway. So that is the biggest factor. Yeah. I mean, is Tannehill going to show up, and is the Chiefs going to be able to stop Derrick Henry?
That's the big question. Yeah.
Chiefs defense, I think we can all agree, is worse than the Ravens and
very true.
The Patriots. But the Ravens coming off the 3 weeks or whatever it was, I mean, they have that rust. Where the Chiefs played pretty good defense last week, in my opinion, against the Texans. No?
After the 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said,
well, you could take off the 7 for the block punt.
Well, and then the drop punt.
Okay.
Where they
still had to go out on defense though.
Yeah, but they were giving it at the 5-yard line. That's tough. That's just a tough spot.
You still went out there.
Yeah, I mean, you could have stopped them to a field goal. Okay. You could have.
But they didn't.
Just in general, how they had Watson on the ropes. I mean,
yeah, but we can all agree that nobody on the Texans offense is like Derrick Henry.
No.
In terms of how he runs that rock.
No. Because, Carlos had a good year, but no,
he's not Derrick Henry. We ain't about to do that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Now, their X factor, they had DeAndre Hopkins, but remember, he was also dealing with the ribs as well in that game. Because remember, they started off fast, but then he was dealing with that the rest of the game.
Yes. Yeah. No, 100%. And, I mean, you broke it down perfectly. So, I don't really have too much to say in terms of...
But you said Chiefs blowing them out, though.
In terms of like the football game, the strategy, I think you broke it down perfect. I mean, Chiefs offense is way better. I mean, Titans defense, I don't know where this is going from.
Well, and I also feel like the Chiefs have the better special teams unit too when you talk about returnment.
Right.
No, like dead serious. Like we're not even talking Tyreek Hill. I'm drawing a blank on the other kid's name.
The Hardman.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's an all-pro himself.
Yeah.
Like he can ball. That's a huge element in these games. I know you like to just gloss over special teams.
That's why I said right. Just
but when it's close, when you're looking at stylistics, when you're looking at things like that, the special teams element is huge. Think about it. If they don't return that kick the way they did, that Chiefs comeback doesn't get started like that. It started off with that special team spark. Remember the big return out there went 24 zip. He flips the field. Then from there they start hitting him.
Yeah.
Special teams spark. But when you're comparing the special teams matchups, the Chiefs do have the better unit in that regard, and they have more experience on their special teams unit. When you're looking at the kid Sorensen, he's been over there for a while now for the for the Chiefs. He made the big 4th down stop on the fake punt by the Texans. He made the big 4th down stop in 49. He's been over there for a while. They got guys in terms of like core special teams, like how we have Tyler Matakadovich, Jordan Dangerfield. We got core guys. They have core guys like that as well, and I think that's what helps them out in that department.
Yeah. So, I mean, Chiefs are going to blow them out because the Titans are too cocky. They definitely... I told you, man, that press conference screwed them. Like, why go in?
Tyreek Hill just went on to say, you have nobody that can cover us.
That's confidence.
No, that's cocky. What?
That's confidence because he is a top 3 receiver in this league.
to go out there and say you have nobody that can cover it. Now he said not just the Titans. He said it's nobody in the league that can cover our receivers.
Is he not telling the truth?
What?
Is he not?
That's not cocky.
He's just being confident. He's just telling them like, "Hey, I'm pretty good." Like,
No. He didn't sound pretty good. He said, "No, there's nobody in the league that can cover us." That's what he said.
He's just being pretty real with you. That's all.
That sounds pretty cocky. So that's not cocky. But a guy after a big win on the road versus the number one team in the league, getting up there and just making a joke saying, "Hey, big trust. I just want to introduce you, Derrick Henry."
Yep.
That's cocky?
Yep, because Derrick Henry...
Your logic is flawed, bro.
Derrick Henry wasn't the one doing it.
So your logic is flawed, bro.
What?
Your logic is flawed.
It's
Because if
not.
it was Derrick Henry doing it, you're saying, "Oh, Derrick Henry's too cocky."
I wouldn't, because he deserves to be confident.
So his friend, his teammate, his brother that believes with him can't hype him up?
Nah, you can't do that.
Why not? Mark Ingram was doing it for Lamar Jackson.
But Mark Ingram's Mark Ingram.
He's not. He's no. Don't you do that now? Mark Ingram's Mark Ingram. I don't want to hear that. Nah, cut it out.
He's a good player, man.
Nah, okay, a good player. A good player. The kid that was doing it was a good player.
I mean, he's not Mark Ingram.
Cut it out.
What?
Cut it out.
Cut what out, man?
Mark Ingram? That's what we're doing now?
He's a Pro Bowler, right?
So we're crying on Mark Ingram.
No, we're not.
That's what you just said. You're crying on Mark Ingram.
I'm actually not really cool with what they were doing. I was kind of pissed off about it. Got old. That act got old quick too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to beat the team that did that, the act they got old, that if you think it got old, you don't think the Titans that it got old as the Titans?
I mean, I get it, but
And it's not like they did it leading up. No. Game just ended. They just won. And he did it one time. That what?
I don't like it.
You're funny. But you like Tyreek Hill saying, "Yeah, we got the best receivers."
I don't like it.
Yes, you just said you did. Don't backtrack it now.
I don't like it.
You just said, "I like that because he's confident."
I just said he's confident. That's all. I'm not endorsing him saying
Cut
that.
it out, bro. Cut it out.
Cut what out, man? Anyway, with the back to the analysis though.
Yeah, because you said they're gonna blow them out because the Titans are cocky.
Well, there's that, and I just think Chiefs are overpowering. Just
You
like
can say
we
the
were
Chiefs are overpowering, but the Chiefs are more cocky than the Titans. That's all I'm saying, man.
You think?
Think if I get up here and say, "Hey, man, ain't nobody in the league that can stop us," or I get up here and say, "Big trust, welcome Deke to the mic," yeah, and you tell me which one is cocky. I didn't think it was a conversation. I didn't think it was any gray area with that. I thought it was pretty simple. How you gonna say no one can guard you? You're the best ever. You ain't won nothing yet. Help me understand.
I see what you're saying.
Help me understand.
I see what you're saying, but it's
that doesn't fit your argument. That's why you don't like it.
It's
cool, man.
Hill.
It's cool.
Tyreek Hill.
You exposing yourself right now, man. You exposing your bias.
Oh man, dude. I mean,
It's so bad. It's so bad. One man just said, "Yo, we got the best receiver corps. Can't nobody guard us. Can't nobody guard us." Oh man, I think he's just confident. You know, he just said we're pretty good. No, he didn't say we're pretty good. He said, "Can't nobody guard us in the league." And the other guy just simply said, "Big trust, Derrick Henry." After just going on the road to beat a team that nobody thought they could beat, a team that everybody said is Super Bowl, a team they said is innovative.
I think it's how you do it.
He did it exactly how Mark Henry did it.
You mean Mark Ingram?
I mean, Mark Ingram.
I didn't like that though. I didn't think that was good for them to be doing that either.
Whatever you say, bro.
Tyreek,
You didn't have an issue when he did it. You didn't say nothing about it when he did it.
I said stay humble. Didn't I tell them? I said the Ravens.
No, you did not, because they've been doing that. So stop it.
We've evolved as a podcast. I didn't know if that was the right thing to be bringing up.
Are you done?
I got one more thing to say. Tyreek was just matter of fact with it. That's what I mean.
Whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
What do you mean?
Whatever you say, man.
All right, but anyway, that's my prediction. Yeah, basically. I mean, I could get into more.
So it's what, 70 zip? Because the blowout, right?
Nah, man.
You said it's a blowout. They can't. Hey, man, best receivers in the world. They can't. Nobody can stop them.
28-14, 28-13.
No. That's not a blowout. You said, hey, he was matter of fact. He was telling the truth. He was confident. Can't nobody guard me. It better be a lot more than that.
28-13.
They just scored 51 last week.
28-13.
You're funny. You're funny. You say one thing, but your predictions don't match that.
It's all about feel, though.
Nah, I don't want to hear none of that.
It's all about
I don't
feel.
want to hear none of that.
I'm confident that the Chiefs are going to win.
You said they were going to blow them out, not just win. We saw a Chief blowout. We saw that last week, 51. We saw that, right?
Mm-hmm. But that was only 17-point difference.
51 points. 51 points.
Right.
And now you're going to say just 28 points.
Yeah, 28 this game.
You're funny, bro. You're funny. You're funny. Cool. All right.
28-13.
Cool.
Lock it in.
Blowout.
That's beating the spread, so hey.
That's a blowout. 28-13 is a blowout, guys. All right. There you go.
You're never going to feel like the Titans are going to win.
Whatever you say, man.
So that counts.
Whatever you say.
What's your prediction?
I'm saying 28-21.
Whoa.
Running game. Clock. Kills a lot of it.
Who?
Chiefs.
All right. That's fair.
Not a blowout, though.
We both have
a lot closer than what you think.
We both are picking the same teams again.
It's hard not to right now. I mean, I like what the Titans are doing, but I think the X factor is Patrick Mahomes versus Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
We know what Mahomes is going to do. Even if he plays bad, we know what he can become during these games. We've seen that, where he started slow and then heats up. We haven't seen that from Tannehill. So my thing is, I go with what I know. Same with Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not saying that Garoppolo couldn't surprise us and do it.
He could.
But we're just saying that we haven't seen it just yet.
We haven't. Yeah. Correct. So, Chiefs Packers in the Super Bowl, huh? Showdown of two great quarterbacks.
Yeah. Changing of the guard.
Whoa. I mean,
changing of the guard. I'm calling it.
Okay. So we're already getting a little Super Bowl preview here. Wow. Okay.
Unless Derrick Henry wins and then it's changing of the guard, we're going back to old school running the ball.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen still.
Or it could be, hey, Aaron, letting people know, like, I don't care what you young guys are doing, I still got the juice.
What's the Jimmy G storyline?
Oh, y'all thought it was Brady? Nah, bruh. It's me. It's my time. Why you think they traded me? Because they knew what I was about to do.
I'm the golden boy. I'm the next Montana.
They knew what I was about to do. That's why they got rid of me.
Wow, we got it all covered.
We got storylines, man. We're good.
We got it all covered.
Richard Sherman, game-winning pick. I'm great. I'm the best ever.
Yeah.
My style is impeccable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want to eat your kids. Praise be to Allah.
What?
Mike Tyson rant.
Yeah.
It's all good, bro.
You know I'm not.
You're not cultured yet. It's all, you learn.
I'm not as much into boxing or fighting, man.
It's cool,
not as much.
You don't have to be into boxing. You know Mike Tyson, though.
I know. You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, so we got our picks. We got anything else?
Oh, man. Just another shout out to Donnie Shell, though, man.
Yes.
Just another shout out to Donnie Shell.
Hey, and if you haven't seen it or heard it, we have an interview with him on the podcast. And it was, like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it was good. And you got the YouTube video of it as well.
We got the YouTube, and there's a lot of good stories in there.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty dope. Like, just his backstory and some of the stuff he's learned in the league.
Some of the things that his coach told him when he was coming out and stuff like that.
It was dope. It was really dope. You get a little behind-the-scenes scoop, because right now you're going to be getting a lot of stuff, people asking him about Hall of Fame, just kind of stuff what's going on right now. But we got a little more deep, a little more backstory there if you guys want to check that out.
Absolutely.
Not saying we're better than anyone else.
We Tyreek Hill. We the best podcast in the world. Ain't no one stop us. That's 2 Hall of Famers. Actually, 3 if you want to get Jerome Bettis up here too. All right. Just like that, right? You like that? It was matter of fact. It was confident. That was cool.
I am good with it. Yes. I do have a quick question.
What's up?
We're talking Titans and Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Isn't there something circulating around now that people want the Steelers to break the bank to bring in Henry?
Bro, we can't afford him.
You know that I talk about ridiculous stuff, but that might be like even above me. That might be above my pay grade.
It's not above you. The only thing is, if he was a receiver, you would want him. You don't like running backs like that. That's it. You would have broke. You said trade away all our draft picks for AJ Green while he was hurt. You did. So the only reason why you wouldn't want Derrick Henry is because he's a running back. You value receivers a lot more than you value running backs. If this is Odell Beckham we're talking about, you would say pay him whatever he wants.
Yes. As soon as that news broke, you saw me. Yes.
So there you go. That's all it was.
Yeah. It's not above my pay grade. It's more of where I value positions.
Yeah, personal preference for you.
I've gotten exposed here, huh? A lot recently.
But the people love it, man.
You think?
They love it.
It's just being who I am.
You own it, bro. You're deep.
I am, yes.
Chest hair out.
I'll say exposed everything except the quarterback discussion. That is something.
Because you'll only go QBR. You won't go passing yards.
I told no.
That's simple.
No, if you go back and remember what I said, it's weighing all those 5 or 6 things.
No, because we already showed you how it's flawed. That's all I'm saying.
I don't see it.
It's very flawed.
I don't see the flaw in it. I don't see the flaw. But this was a fun podcast. I will say that. As much as me getting exposed, it's cool because it's funny, in my opinion.
All right. I like it because our job is to give the people something to listen to that's entertaining, something to debate about on the social media channels. And now they have that. So, as always, we appreciate them for tuning in. I appreciate you for being on the mic and debating.
You sure, man?
Yeah, man. It's always fun.
I thought you got a little pissed at me today.
Never.
You're sick of me.
I'm on your team, bro. You know that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm always on your team.
All right, cool.
You're doing good.
Just making sure we're cool like that.
Yeah. It's the dynamic, man. We can't have 2 of me or 2 of you. Nah, it ain't gonna work. You gotta have diversity.
True. No, it's 100% true.
A little variety.
Definitely.
Yeah, because there's people that think like you, there's people that think like me, and that's what makes it beautiful. We can tap into both of those.
True.
Yeah.
True. Definitely. Yeah. So is that all we got here?
Only if that's all that you want to have.
Yeah, that was it. Because I'm not trying to bring up our new quarterbacks coach. Come on, I can give a crap about that. So give me a break.
You feeling Matt Kennedy? Matt Kennedy.
Ben knows more about football than that dude. So I don't care who we bring in.
All I'm saying is he's been highly successful everywhere he's went. Everywhere he's went.
I don't care.
I mean, he's a part. You're a Pitt alum.
It gets cool.
The most points they've ever had in a season, points per game per season, is because of him.
Whatever. He went to Pitt. Now he's the Steelers guy.
All I'm saying is everywhere he's been, he's magic.
It's not news to me. That's basically what I'm saying.
Well, the thing that I'm excited about is this. And this for people that don't know, Matt Canada, he just was recently hired as the Steelers quarterback coach. He coached at Pitt, Northern Illinois, Indiana, and LSU. Excuse me, that's the other school. Yeah. And literally everywhere he's been like a quarterback whisperer. He helps them become a lot more efficient, more passing touchdowns, less interceptions. So for a team like the Steelers who have had 23 straight games with turnovers, and we all can do math, we know that Ben is a part of those turnovers. And we also talked about earlier in this podcast that Ben does have a tendency to have interceptions. I think that this is very beneficial because he can help Ben in that department. Also, he can help Mason Rudolph develop. I think that this is a good hire. That's all I'm saying. And he's shown, for me, I love it when it's more than one place. Because if you just do it one place with one stud quarterback, it doesn't hold the same value to me because I'm like, is that more so the quarterback or is that more so the coach? It's hard to tell. But when you're going around, and it's not like he's at Alabama. It wasn't like he was at Ohio State. It wasn't like he was at a powerhouse like that. He's still been able to make it work. He was doing it at LSU when it was no Joe Burrow. When they had, I forgot the guy's name, but he was not good.
They haven't had any good quarterbacks.
Yeah. So for me, I'm just like, the fact that he's been able to do that at multiple places, for me, I'm extremely happy about. Because regardless of what you want to say about Ben knowing more and this and that, Ben turns the ball over a lot. And we can all agree upon that. Okay? So that's what this guy comes in and helps out in. And it also gives Randy Fichtner the opportunity to just focus on being the offensive coordinator and having to wear 2 hats. And I think that can help him out as well.
Thank you for saying that. So I'm good with it. I just don't find it news at all. I just, whatever.
As long as he can't be certain. That's all I care about.
I'm going to support him. Pitt alum. Now a Steeler. So, hey. Yeah. But
I like it.
You broke it down better than I could anyway. So.
Hey, man, it's all good, baby. Teamwork.
Because I got nothing to say about him. But that was actually, wow. Yeah. Now I'm on board.
Teamwork, man. Teamwork. We got each other's back here, man.
I guess I didn't have to rip him.
Yeah. I'm just like, dang, you just go trash him just like that. You don't even know the guy yet.
Well, anyway, yeah. I think we're done.
Now we're done.
I think we got the Steelers news covered. We got football news covered.
Ben and Russ covered again.
Yeah.
And then we got Donnie Shell covered. So there we go. Now we're good.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Yes, indeed.
And until next time.
Peace.